Right, I'm filming this again, but missing out all the long and boring stuff. As you can see, I've got the Range Rover back in here. Surprise, surprise. Well, I got paid the other day, so I thought I'd better get a wriggle on and get it finished. One of the last jobs, but you know there isn't a last job, is there, on a Range Rover? We've had parasitic draw on the battery. You leave the battery out 2-3 weeks, flat as a fart. Won't nothing in it at all. It's very strange. So I thought today's the day, while it's a bit quiet, I'll get on and have a look at it. And it might be interesting for you to find out how you've got a flat battery all the time, what it actually is. It's interesting. So, you don't need much. But the funniest thing was, before I go on any further, the funniest thing was, you know these have got a bolt goes through with a cable. So you've got your clamp around your battery, then you've got a bolt going through. Like, this one here. See this one? So what I've done is, I've put an ammeter, an old-fashioned ammeter, in line. Why not use a digital one? You could do, but it's easier to look at this. Like this is a 0 to 15 amp, and this works beautifully. I think we got it from the Frankenstein set, but it works great. So all you got to do is disconnect your battery, disconnect that wire, and just put that in a loop. Now if it goes backwards, well, just change the wires around this way. So what was happening was this. When I brought this car in this morning, I put a fresh battery on it, and when I touched the connector onto positive, spark. Ooh, where was that coming from? So I messed about with this, and messed about for a good hour. And then it stopped sparking. It's almost as if something's trying to charge up, but what could it be? Well, I don't know. But I'm going to show you the setup here with an old-fashioned ammeter, right? And there it is, 0 to 15. I've got it clipped up. I'm going to turn the lights on. I bet they didn't go on, did they? See, this is what it does. There you go. Oh, there's a bad connection somewhere. And I don't know where it is. It's usually these shitty type of leads. There we go. I hope you can see that. So you can see that the lights are on. This is on parking lights, it's not on full lights. But we've got now 11.5 amps. Just to prove that, we've got 11.5 amps. Alright? But watch what happens when I turn it off. Nothing. Not a sausage. So why was it drawing current and flattening the battery? When I've got that off, there is nothing. I've undone all the wires in the ECU, I've undone all the fuses here, which should shut off the whole car, but there's no spark, and you wouldn't get if you've got no amps, you're not going to get a spark. You see, like see down here, you're not going to get a spark. So I really don't know. I don't know. It's like I said, there's like a capacitor charging up, and then once it gets to full charge, it switches off. But I just don't know where it is. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave this until the morning, and see what happens then. Because it's really strange. Usually, when you get an electrical problem like this, it's constant. Like there's a draw somewhere, a short circuit. Could be anything, because you know what, these cars are just an electrical nightmare anyway. But it could be anything. I was just trying to figure out whether it was my fault with the ECU, because this is a GEM system and it should have had a 14 CUX on it, because it's a 1991 Range Rover. We took all that out, did away with that, and rewired this. Now I was thinking, did I rewire the GEMs using a positive wire from the battery? It's charged itself up, then when I'm messing about here and it's discharged itself and it's back to normal. It's hard to explain. So I'm going to leave this overnight, with the battery off, battery disconnected, so there's nothing there, and then we'll have a look at it tomorrow in real time and see what happens. But you can see it works. Oh, I tell you what I was going to tell you as well. Yeah, don't buy these shitty jump leads for working on cars. These are only for electronics. They're not for doing anything like heavy, because you can see what happened to that wire. It just melted. That caused a little bit of problems because it melted inside that little plastic covery thing here, and I couldn't see it. So you're messing about thinking, oh, I haven't got a good continuity, and it's these things. So if you can see on here, I don't know if you can see or not. Yeah. I made this up out of some very heavy wire with what size breakers in that one? 15 amp breaker. So if anything does short out, the fuse will go, and those are resettable fuses as well, so you don't really have to worry about them. They cool down and then reset. They're a good idea, but they're not cheap. So there we go. Well, let's leave that term, take that off. That's off. Batteries and connectors. Yeah, you can see what I was trying to say. What we're doing is, God, bloody camera backwards and forwards. That's why I ditched the first one. You see this type of connector? So we can disconnect that, because that goes directly to your fuse box and all the rest of the car. So if we put a DC meter between here and here, we'll get to know what's going on. But you're going to ask yourself, Mike, why didn't you use your clamp meter? Well, I was, but the amperages were so low, this would just keep sticking. Not sticking, but I don't know, they're a bit of a fiddly mess about to put together, and I'm not sure if the battery's getting low. They're good for, like, when you're charging, testing for a charge, but when you're testing for a discharge or something like that, it's maybe not so good. So that's why I went down to old Frankenstein's one down here. They work really good, so yeah, a bit cumbersome, but they work. So now I'm going to just leave this and have a go with the interior mirror, and hopefully I can get that stuck on. And if I can get this problem done, it's going from here, hurrah, it's leaving here and going up to the lady's house. She lives just over there, and because there's problems with licensing. This car came from the United States, and she imported it legally. She brought it across all the customs papers, but she never registered it. All the time she had it, she never registered it. And now she's sort of backwards and forwards between California and Quebec. So I said, well, you park it up there. It's out of my yard, so nobody's going to hit it. And that's it. So she's going to take care of that, hopefully. But there's such a process. We'd have to take the car to get weighed. They won't accept the weight that's on the door. So we have to take it to the scrapyard. I'd be tempted to leave it. And have it put on the balance. Weigh it, come back, then you've got that certificate. And then we've got to go down the registration, prove that you've paid your taxes. So I hope she's got the original documents that came across from the United States with the papers that prove you've paid the tax. Because if not, you're stuffed. It's a crazy thing. It's a crazy thing that's going on. But never mind. That's not my problem. See you tomorrow.